Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Before we dive into the video, make sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon. Let's dive in. It started as an ordinary Friday evening, or at least it seemed that way. My wife Natalie had been getting ready for what she called a work dinner. She spent nearly an hour in front of the mirror, adjusting her hair, checking her makeup, and choosing a dress that looked far too fancy for any office event. I watched her from the doorway, silently studying her reflection. She looked beautiful, yes, but she also looked distant, like someone preparing for something far more personal than a simple meal. Imagine this. Your partner says they're working late, but something feels off. What would you do? As she slipped on her heels, I finally asked, "Work dinner, huh?" She smiled faintly without looking up. "Yes, babe. Don't wait for me. I'll be back late." Her tone was light, practiced, the kind you use when you don't want questions. Normally, I'd have let it go. But that night, something in her eyes felt wrong. Guilty almost. For weeks, she'd been cold and distracted, glued to her phone, smiling at messages she wouldn't let me see. I'd told myself I was being paranoid. But as she walked toward the door, something inside me snapped. I smiled and said, "Don't rush. I have guests coming over too." Her hand froze on the doorknob. She turned, confusion flashing across her face. "Guests?" she asked, her voice tight. "Yeah," I said casually. "You're not the only one with plans tonight." Then I turned back to my phone, pretending to scroll. For a split second, I saw panic flash in her eyes before she forced a shaky laugh. "Right, have fun," she said, but her tone betrayed her. The door closed behind her and silence filled the house. 3 minutes. That's all it took for everything to change. I didn't actually have guests coming over. I just wanted to see her reaction, and the reaction told me everything. Within minutes, my phone started buzzing. Once, then twice, then nonstop. Natalie calling. I ignored the first few. Then came the texts. "Who's there? What guests? Are you serious right now?" I smirked to myself. 3 minutes had passed since she left, and already she was falling apart. Her next message came in all caps. "I'm coming home." I knew she'd panic, but I didn't expect her to break that fast. The truth was, I'd been waiting weeks for this moment, for her mask to slip. By the time she arrived, I was sitting calmly on the couch with a glass of whiskey in hand, music playing softly in the background. I heard her key fumble at the door before she burst in, breathing hard, eyes wide with suspicion. "Where are they?" she demanded. "Who's here?" I looked up from my drink, raising an eyebrow. "Who's who, Natalie?" She scanned the room, the empty glasses, the half-open balcony door, as if she expected to find someone hiding behind the curtains. "You said you had guests," she snapped. I shrugged. "And you said you'd be back late. Guess we both lied tonight." The color drained from her face. She tried to collect herself, but her voice trembled when she said, "That wasn't fair." I chuckled softly. "Neither is pretending you're at a work dinner when you're meeting someone at the Grove Hotel." Her eyes widened in shock. "How did you?" she stammered. I leaned forward, resting my elbows on my knees. "You've been acting strange for months. I didn't need to hire a detective. Your location app told me everything." Her lips parted, but no words came. The silence that followed was deafening. Just the soft hum of the music and the sound of her heartbeat filling the space. Then tears welled up in her eyes. "It wasn't what you think," she whispered, her voice cracking. "It was just dinner, I swear." I tilted my head slightly. "Then why did you come running home the moment I mentioned guests?" She tried to speak, but the words tangled in her throat. The truth was already written all over her face. That brief flicker of guilt, that nervous laugh before she left. All of it was confirmation enough. I didn't need a confession. I already had the truth. I stood up, walked past her, and grabbed the small overnight bag I'd packed earlier. "Where are you going?" she asked through tears. I paused by the door. "You told me not to wait." "I'm just following instructions." Her voice broke as she said, "Jake, please. I made a mistake. I can fix this." I turned, looked at her one last time, and said quietly, "You can't fix what you never valued." Then I walked out, leaving her in that echoing silence. The same silence she'd left me in for months. Over the next few days, she called nonstop. Voicemails full of apologies, promises. I didn't answer any of them. I didn't block her either. I wanted her to feel what I had felt, ignored, invisible, replaced by uncertainty. It wasn't revenge. It was closure. The kind she'd never expected me to find. Weeks later, I heard through mutual friends that she confessed everything. How she'd been meeting her colleague for drinks, convincing herself it wasn't cheating since nothing happened. But betrayal doesn't always start with a touch. Sometimes it starts with lies told too easily and trust taken too lightly. Now, whenever someone asks why we divorced, I smile faintly and say, she said she'd be back late. I told her not to rush. Because in those few words, I found everything I needed to finally let go.